All right, now we get into probably the most non-needed. I'm trying to think of a good adjective to describe this match, but maybe the most worthless or the most time-consuming match of the Survivor Series 2016, which is going to be Team Raw versus Team SmackDown, the 10-man team, five team. I don't even know what the hell to call this match. What do they call it? The Team Raw versus Team SmackDown live in a 10-on-10 traditional Survivor Series tag team elimination match. I'm guessing that more than likely they're going to go back to the old school tag team matches, where basically that means, like, if you're talking about Enzo and Kaz, if Enzo gets eliminated, Kaz it gets eliminated as well. He doesn't have to take the pinfall. Just one member of the team has to be eliminated before they go. When they look at this match, there's a lot of teams in here, and it brings like a warmness to my heart. I've been talking about tag team wrestling in WWE, honestly, back to probably since 2010 when I first started making videos here on YouTube, just basically saying that tag team wrestling, having teams like the Usos, it just wasn't enough. There was only a few tag teams at some points on the roster, maybe 3 or 4 at the most, and it just seemed like they just went in a circle of what was going on. And there was some good teams out there, but just there wasn't enough teams to really have depth to what was going on. And more on Team SmackDown than on Team Raw. I see teams really meaning something. I mean, they have teams on SmackDown like the Ascension that's not going to be a part of this show that, really do mean something. We had the Ascension come out to basically have a stare down with the Hype Bros a few weeks ago, basically saying that they wanted to be involved in the tag team title hunt. They weren't going to get left behind. Honestly, in my opinion, Rhino and Heath Slater as champions, they've been able to keep the titles this long, has been a real big surprise to me. I don't think that they're really great champions. I would think almost anybody else on the brand holding the titles would mean something. The Heath Slater and Rhino, I need this job storyline didn't go the direction that I wanted it to. Honestly, in my mind, I think that it would have been a lot better if Rhino, not make him look stupid, not really turn on Heath, but if he would have took the fall and the Slaters would have lost their house, Heath Slater would have lost his job, and Rhino would have been able to have the Slaters move in with him, it would have been a better storyline and have a way for him to try and fight to get Heath Slater a rematch, to try and get back on SmackDown or give him a reason to be around. Honestly, in my mind, why the titles aren't on American Alpha, I have no idea. It seems like they're losing steam each and every week, but you can definitely tell with even the Monday Night Raw riders with, basically New Day running everyone down on the SmackDown brand. But then once they got to American Alpha, basically saying that they didn't really have anything bad to say about him. You can sort of see that maybe WWE does see something in these guys. They're letting them take their time to experience what it's like to be on the main roster. They didn't want to put the championships on them right away. Still, in my mind, Chad Gable and Jason Jordan are both going to be great stars. I don't think these guys are going to be involved in the tag team division for forever and ever. I don't know if it's going to be another year or not, but somewhere they have to find a spot where they're going to break loose and become a major force for the WWE, whether that's being on the mid card, being main eventers. Of course, everybody, because of the wrestling background, thinks that these guys are both going to become the next Kurt Angle. I think they're both real big stars. Jason Jordan's probably got an advantage because of his height, but Chad Gable, honestly, in my mind, is going to be able to make up for a lot of that. And we've seen, height's always going to mean something in WWE, but for the last few years, we've seen that basically sometimes when there's a lot of potential and a lot of, just real skill behind somebody, they will overlook it. Whether if that's Daniel Bryan, winning the championship at WrestleMania 30 or anything like that. But, when I look at Team Raw, I honestly don't think they're going to be able to get this done. I think when you talk about all 3 of the brands, honestly, and all 3 of the brand matches that are Survivor Series matches, all of these are put together of baby faces and heels all trying to work together, and I don't think it's going to be able to happen. I think in all 3 matches you're going to have people get eliminated because of the fact that people on their own teams turn on them. They can't work together. You've got Sheamus and Cesaro, who are a tag team, but they can't even get along together. And you've got everyone trying to get at the New Day. The New Day's held on to those championships for well over a year now, and I wouldn't be surprised if you see everyone turn on the New Day. We saw the New Day lose a non-title match. They've lost at least 10 to 20 of these non-title matches on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown over the course of this title reign, which to me sort of waters it down. And plus, I've gone on the fact of saying that I'm not the biggest New Day fan of all time. What I would like to see out of this match is honestly, you have to be an idiot if you think that Enzo and Kaz aren't probably the best bet to be the best survivors on Team Raw because of what Raw thinks of Big Kaz. They have been protecting him. He hasn't really meant what he's meant over the last 2 months. Of course, his highlight was being involved in that fatal 4-way for the World Heavyweight Championship when they put the belt on Seth Rollins. But I really want to see American Alpha be this, and I think that with them getting the sort of the wink wink from Monday Night Raw, with New Day not being able to cut them down, I wouldn't be surprised if this is their coming out party and this is where they really start to move up the card. It doesn't mean that they have to win the tag team championships at the next pay-per-view at TLC, but sooner than later, this is going to have to happen. But I mean, they've got a lot of potential on the SmackDown brand. The Usos have been around forever. Even Breezango, whatever the heck it is, with Tyler Breeze and Fandango, those are really great wrestlers that make a really great team. I know they're kind of a comedy act right now, being the Fashion Police, but they're a real good team when they get into the ring. Even the Hype Bros are guys that I can get behind. I really think the Team SmackDown is going to pull this out, even though I think that there's a lot of potential on the Raw brand from Cesaro and Sheamus. I don't know why they put them together if they weren't going to win the tag team titles. I know that this Survivor Series is sort of a break in the storylines for a lot of people because these people have to work together. And I'm not sure if there's another Monday Night Raw pay-per-view after TLC or before TLC, before the Royal Rumble, where they're going to get a shot to go after the titles. But to put them as a tag team and sort of hide them here doesn't make a lot of sense. And of course, everybody knows that to me, Machine Gun Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows are two of the biggest stars on Monday Night Raw that aren't getting really used the way they are. I understand that heels have to get treated like idiots and they have to wrestle in stupid matches, and when Halloween comes around, somebody has to put the pumpkin on their head. And honestly, in my opinion, I think that them doing that spot was probably pretty funny and probably a good idea. And honestly, when you ask them about him, if you ever get a chance to meet him, they're not going to take any sort of negativity to that. They're going to embrace it. They're getting paid big money to wrestle for WWE. They get to wrestle in the States. They get to see their family more. This is what they're doing. They understand when they go there, they're not going to be the big machines that they were in New Japan. They have to sort of take that back. The reason why they haven't won the straps yet, I don't understand, but we'll have to see. I'm picking SmackDown to win this one. What do you guys think about? It's about the only way I can think to end this, because I don't think you really want me going into every tag team and what I think about what all these guys are doing. But honestly, in my opinion, get those belts off of the New Day sooner than later. Get those belts off of Heath Slater and Rhino and onto American Alpha sooner than later. And I think that tag team wrestling in WWE looking for a big boom in the next coming year.